A very good evening, viewers. You're watching 6 Stories at 6 and I am Rakshita Mishra with you this Sunday evening. It's indeed a super Sunday evening for all the Indian cricket fans as India have rattled the New Zealand batters. This time, India have set a target for themselves, 252 runs away from glory. India, can they end the 12-year wait for Champions Trophy? They are quite close to it. We'll get you all the updates, how the innings panned out. Also, on the show tonight, we are going to tell you how once again a temple, a Hindu temple, the Baptist temple, has been targeted, this time in America's California. Also, update coming in from Kathua, where 3 Hindus were brutally killed. Union Minister Jitendra Singh has pointed towards to a deeper conspiracy. Also, the ISI agent behind Kulbhushan Jadhav's killing, the ISI stooge, the ISI puppet, has been shot dead by unidentified attackers. Also, we'll get you the latest coming in from Manipur, as 1 person has been killed in fresh violence erupting in the state. Finally, we get you update from Syria. 1,000 people, viewers, have been killed in Syria. In just 2 days, women have been paraded naked. These are revenge killings. Who is attacking whom? We'll get you more in that report. First, we start with the top story that is from the world of cricket, that is from Dubai.
और हमारे जितने भी जवान बैठे हुए हैं इनको यही उम्मीद है कि आज हमारा इंडिया बल्ले बल्ले होएगा।
So India have restricted New Zealand to 251 and finally India is waiting for the longest time for an ODI trophy, for an ICC trophy in the ODI format, and this is their chance. Rohit Sharma, after the World Cup glory last year, can he lead India to the Champions Trophy win? That is what we are going to talk about right now. We are showing you visuals from across the country as Lucknow, Kolkata, Ayodhya, Chandigarh, Rishikesh are all praying billion prayers for the men in blue. My colleague Ankit Banerjee joins us live on the broadcast from the sports desk, from the Sport Fit desk. Ankit, well, it has been a glorious run for the spinners and the Kiwis have been rattled. You feel that there was a good, good fight put up by Daryl Mitchell in this entire innings. How do you think Indians are going to perform?
Honestly, very honestly, Rakshita, I felt that India would have liked to have kept them to 10 or 15 runs lesser than where they went to. Now India have to chase 252. This is an in-between kind of a score. It's going to be tricky. It's not going to be very easy. A few facts that I want to, showcase over here is the fact that when India played against Bangladesh, the pitch was turning a lot. It was turning the most, 3.5 degrees when the spinners were bowling. But today, the spin was the least. It was turning at an average of 2. So what this shows is the fact that it was the poor shot selection from the New Zealand batters that brought about their downfall. They could easily have got to about 300 over here, the kind of start Rachin Ravindra and Will Young gave them. Now chasing 252 is of course not going to be easy because the pitch is going to become slower and it's going to get even more sluggish over here. Also, what we understand is, of course, Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill have to get India off to a good start.
Absolutely.
When the ball is hard and new, they'll have to come hard at these New Zealand pacers, Rourke and Jamieson, both these guys, they have got the height, so they are going to extract a lot of bounce from this surface. It's going to be very interesting to see the kind of purchase these pacers get, because Mohammad Shami, the Indian pacers, they did not get a lot of purchase out of this track. So it's going to be very interesting to see how India come out and what's their approach going to be inside the power play. The first 10 overs, because up until now, we have seen Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill trying to get India off to a breezy start. A flyer in a way. So that I think will be their ploy today as well when they come out to score, to gun down.
Absolutely, we want India to win, but we also want an exciting match. We want a nail bite as we've seen in the previous semi-finals. But I'll go across to Sandeep. He's in the maximum city, and we know that how cricket is celebrated in Mumbai. We also have Lalit from Chandigarh. But first to you, Sandeep, how's the Josh in Mumbai? colleague Sandeep is getting us, you can see the mood there in Mumbai. The young, the old, men, women, everybody are united together in this match. And I go across to Lalit now from Chandigarh. Tell us how are the celebration, how the excitement that you're witnessing around you, Lalit, in Chandigarh.
Well, if we talk about in Chandigarh, the Josh seems to be very high, rocket high. These are the visuals here from the Chandigarh Sector 22 market, where you can see a big screen has been placed. Apart from that, you can see that the enthusiasm among the people here seems to be sky high. Let me take across to some people here who have been watching this match since morning and has been waiting that India should win this match. किस तरह की आज जोश नजर आया है खास तौर पे इस मैच को लेकर?
देखिए, जब भी इंडिया किसी फाइनल में पहुंचती है तो सेमीफाइनल से ही फाइनल की तैयारियां शुरू होने लग जाती है और लोगों में बहुत जोश है. सब इकट्ठे होकर मैच देख रहे हैं और सबको बहुत मज़ा आ रहा है.
अगर हम आज के मैच की बात करें, जो स्कोर है 251 है, क्या लगता है आपको किस तरह का स्कोर है? कॉम्पिटिटिव स्कोर है, फाइटिंग स्कोर है?
देखिए, इंडिया की स्टार्ट जैसे अच्छी नहीं हुई, बॉलर्स पे डोमिनेट किया न्यूजीलैंड ने, पर इंडिया ने बहुत अच्छी तरह प्रेशर को सोट किया और उससे बाहर निकले एक प्रेशर सिचुएशन से और उन्होंने एक हद तक जो स्कोर 300 तक जा सकता था, इंडिया ने उसको 251 पे रोक दिया और ये कैप्टनसी और जो टीम स्पिरिट थी बहुत अच्छी थी और हमें उसकी तारीफ करनी चाहिए.
बैटिंग अगर हमेशा से हम इंडिया की बात करें, हमेशा से पावर रहा है इंडिया का. आज किस पर सबसे ज्यादा रिलाय करेंगे? विराट कोहली, रोहित शर्मा कैप्टन है, शुभमन गिल है. शुभमन गिल तो चंडीगढ़ से हैं.
देखिए, स्टार्ट अच्छी होनी चाहिए. इंडिया को नर्वस नहीं होना. जैसे इंडिया हर बार फाइनल्स में थोड़ा नर्वस हो जाती है, स्लो स्टार्ट देती है, तो अगर आज हम एक फास्ट स्टार्ट देंगे तो हमें हमारी एंड तक हमारे लिए मैच बहुत आसान हो जाएगा.
कुछ और लोग भी हैं, उनसे भी बात कर लेते हैं. किस तरह का मैच देख रहे हैं? क्या लग रहा है मैच इंडिया के पासे में आएगा, इंडिया की तरफ आएगा?
हाँ जी, इंडिया की तरफ में आएगा. मतलब कोहली का जो एवरेज है वो उसके न्यूजीलैंड के आगे अच्छा चल रहा है, तो वो इस मैच में अच्छा परफॉर्म कर सकते हैं.
किससे लग रहा है आपको कौन आज अच्छा परफॉर्म करेगा?
मेरे ख्याल से तो आज शुभमन गिल बहुत अच्छा परफॉर्म कर सकता है, क्योंकि उसकी भी एवरेज अच्छी है न्यूजीलैंड के सामने और वैसे भी उसने टूर्नामेंट में एक शतक मार के आया, तो वो अच्छा परफॉर्म कर सकता है.
So India have stopped New Zealand for 251 and now it's time for India to bat. And if you talk about the fans, they are just relying on the batting order now. Virat Kohli and the Rohit Sharma, the captain for Indian team, would lead from the opening stance and Shubman Gill would be there. So now the whole chance is on the batting side. And if you talk about here, the spectators here, fans are just waiting and finger are crossed that India will win this tournament. Back to the studio.
Right, Lalit, thank you so much. And Sandeep, thank you so much for joining us. Also, Ankit, we do hope and pray that we connect with you again after the match gets over and we have reasons to celebrate and cheer. We shift our focus to the other stories that we are tracking from across the globe, viewers. It's a careful, coordinated network of anti-India, particularly anti-Hindu forces that are at, at play once again. The target this time was Bab's Swaminarayan Temple in California of United States. Bab's Hindu Temple, located in the Chino Hills in California, was vandalized with the discretionary messages just days ahead of a so-called Khalistani referendum in Los Angeles. Now, the Bab's administration shared the details of the attack on record, affirming that the Hindu diaspora will never let hate take root. But viewers, do note that this incident is not isolated. The California case follows a pattern, a set pattern of similar occurrences at other Bab's temples in the recent months. September 2024, Bab's temple in Sacramento, that's also in California, was defaced with graffiti containing that had expletives. Before that, another Bab's temple in New York was also vandalized. So these incidents we see are not happening in isolation. We have, in fact, a special guest joining us here. Before that, we in fact are going to tell you what the Ministry of External Affairs has said. They have condemned this, taking strong cognizance of the matter. The Ministry of External Affairs has issued a statement and So that is what we are running right now on the screens. You have read it, viewers. Let's move on to the guest that is joining us. Suhag Shukla, Executive Director, Hindu American Foundation. Ms. Shukla, thank you so much for joining us on Republic TV. Ma'am, there has been this is a nefarious plot. And we are seeing this for the past 1 year. BAP's temples across the globe have been targeted. And in America, we are seeing this is on the rise, ma'am. How do you react to this? What do you think is behind this?
Look, it's just cowardly. If any sort of group has political grievances against the government of India, they need to target the right person or the right entity, and it's not Hindu temples. This is nothing short of a hate crime, and that's what we've been pushing for. You know, since 2022, this makes probably the 8th or 9th temple that has been defaced and attacked in this manner. That is not to even look at the over 22 attacks on Hindu mandirs across the world. We're talking about the United States, Canada, and Australia. Our temples are being attacked by these miscreants, and more needs to be done by our local government and local law enforcement.
Of course, ma'am, and we have seen that there has been this so-called pro-Khalistani, that the Khalistan referendum that has been in the works, and that's why we see right ahead of it, such an attack has happened. You feel that United States is serious about taking cognizance? We've seen this happening under Biden administration, but what do you feel, in your understanding, Trump administration will be ready to do in this? Will it act against such elements?
Well, we have a new administration, and so it's kind of uncharted territory, but we do hope that they take it with the utmost seriousness. Up until now, it has been a little bit frustrating that as we have conversations with the U.S. Department of Justice or even the FBI, they very often brush these attacks off as political. And our point has been that any sort of attack on a house of worship must be treated as a hate crime, because that's what they are at their heart. The type of graffiti that we see, it's not just against government officials from India, but it says Hindus go home or Hindus mardabad, and it champions those people such as Bhindranwale who have been known to champion the murdering of hundreds of thousands of Hindus. And so we implore law enforcement, both from the federal, state, and local levels, to take these acts seriously.
Ms. Shukla, thank you so much for joining us with your thoughts on that story. We'll keep a track of what really action has been taken against this incident. We'll shift our focus to the reactions that have come in, viewers. There is criticism from the Hindu community who reiterate that Sanatan Dharma is a belief that advocates for peace, and many people who are actually not comfortable with the Hindu unity and the rise of Sanatan Dharma. Listen in, viewers.
संदेश तो शांति का सदैव से सनातन देता आया है, सनातन के संत देते आए हैं। तो हिंदुत्व जो था है वो उच्चतम धार्मिक या उच्चतम मानवीय सूत्र है, और इसकी अचानक होने वाले इस अभ्युदय उदय से पूरा विश्व जो है कहीं ना कहीं प्रभावित हो रहा है, जिसके अंदर नकारात्मक ऊर्जाओं के ऊपर ज्यादा असर होता है।
ये कायराना करते हैं जहाँ पर शांति का, सौमनस्य का, हिल मिल के रहने का उपदेश किया जाता हो, जो समाज को जोड़ने वाला केंद्र हो, ऐसे स्थान पर हमला करना बहुत कायरों का कारनामा है। ये निंदनीय है।
देखिए, कुछ धर्मांध कट्टरपंथी हिंदू द्रोही तत्व, या मैं कहूँ भारत विरोधी तत्व, अनवरत रूप से भारत की आत्मा को झकझोरने का कुत्सित प्रयास कर रहे हैं। वो सोच रहे हैं कि एक मंदिर पर हमला करके और हम लाइमलाइट में आ जाएंगे, मंदिर पर हमला करके हम हिंदुओं को अपने विरुद्ध खड़ा कर देंगे। तो मुझे लगता है वो उनकी मानसिकता को मुझे लगता है कि ठीक करने की ज़रूरत है।
Viewers, the bodies of 3 Hindus, 15-year-old Varun Singh, his uncles Yogesh Singh, were found in the upper reaches of Bilavar in Jammu and Kashmir this Friday. Police suspect that the locals who went missing while on their way to attend a wedding could have been killed in an accident. However, they have dismissed any foul play initially. But now we have a terror angle that is being pointed at. Contradicting versions have emerged after the centre flagged a terror angle. Security measures have been tightened across the region, while the Jammu and Kashmir police and the army have launched extensive search operations to investigate the case and apprehend those responsible. Here we have this sequence of events that we have right now put out for you. Because what really happened was that these 3 Hindu individuals in Jammu and Kashmir. We just begin from what happened. 3 Hindu civilians, they went missing in Kathua of Jammu. Bodies were recovered in a remote region. It's a region that is which we do not see very populated. Later on, we saw how the Union Minister, he took cognizance. Jitendra Singh, who is from Jammu himself, he said that there could be a deeper conspiracy. Now, protests have also erupted in Bilawar of Jammu and Kashmir, and also the Home Secretary is all set to chair a review meeting. My colleague Gursimran Singh getting us the latest on this story. Gursimran, the Home Secretary is going to take stock of the situation. What is the latest update? Because Jitendra Singh clearly has pointed towards a deeper conspiracy.
Union Home Secretary had meeting in Jammu today regarding the developments and the prevailing security scenario along with the Amarnath Yatra and the Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari rail link that is set to be inaugurated by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Second is that it is only Dr. Jitendra Singh who has come out that these 3 civilians have been killed by the terrorists. It's been 9 hours since the Dr. Jitendra Singh has put out that tweet. There has been not a single word from the Jammu and Kashmir police, and the officials we spoke to say that we still have nothing in hand. Even the postmortem has been done and the families have been dispatched to their houses wherein they will be cremated tomorrow. But the police has nothing in their hand that hints towards a possible terror angle. So that is only the Dr. Jitendra Singh who is making these claims when it comes to the terror angle.
Right. Gursimran Singh, thanks so much for joining us with those details coming in on that story. Viewers, we quickly shift our focus to the other big story that we're tracking. It's been an intriguing turn of events, but once again we see a mysterious killing in Pakistan. Unidentified assailants this time has killed a Pakistani so-called cleric and a Muslim scholar who reportedly aided the ISI in capturing Indian national Kulbhushan Jadhav. Now this man, Mir, has been shot dead by unidentified assailants in Balochistan. Now, reports suggest that Mufti Shah Mir was fatally shot in Turbat area of Pakistan's largest province, that is Balochistan. Accused of being an Indian agent, Kulbhushan Jadhav, remember, was put on death row before his execution was stayed by the ICJ, that is International Court of Justice at The Hague. Take a look at this report to know more about this man.
The killing of a prominent Pakistani cleric in the Restif Balochistan province has brought the Kulbhushan Jadhav case back in the spotlight. Top cleric Mufti Mir Shah was fatally shot by unidentified assailants in the Turbat area of Balochistan. Reports suggest that he had just stepped out of his mosque after offering prayers when he was shot by unidentified gunmen. He is alleged to have aided Pakistan's external intelligence agency, ISI, in the capture of Indian national Kulbhushan Jadhav. Though tied to the Kulbhushan case, the cleric denied any role in the capture and arrest of the Indian national. While not much is known about the cleric apart from being linked to the Kulbhushan case, some reports claim that he was closely tied to Jamiat Ulema-e-Islam. He is also reported to have survived 2 previous attempts on his life. Another report tied him to the ISI's death squads that were behind the abductions and extrajudicial killings of Baloch nationalists. Put on death row after being accused of being an Indian agent, Kulbhushan's execution was stayed by the International Court of Justice at The Hague in the Netherlands. However, the Indian national continues to languish in a Pakistani jail.
Shifting focus to Northeast, where Manipur is continuing to be in a state of unrest for several months now. Normalcy yet to be retained. A protester in the latest round of violence has been killed, while over 40 others, including women and policemen, have been injured in clashes between Kuki demonstrators and security forces in different parts of the Kangpokpi district on Saturday. Now, clashes erupted between demonstrators and security forces in the Kuki-dominated district after police fired tear gas shells to disperse them as they opposed Home Minister Amit Shah's directive allowing free movement across the state. My colleague Aniruddha is joining us on the broadcast for more. Gursimran, I beg your pardon, Aniruddha. Now, what we understand is that there have been calls for a shutdown also in the Kuki-dominated area as unrest continues.
Yes, Rakshita, if we see the developments that have been taking place in the state of Manipur, we have seen that many pressure groups have opposed the directives of the Indian Home Minister, wherein it was advised that roads be open for vehicular movement with escort and pilots from the valley to the hills and vice versa. Though many vehicles from the hills arrived in the valley peacefully, some of the vehicles which actually went from the valley to the hills, though they were completely unoccupied, there was not a single passenger in these vehicles. They came under heavy attack of protesters who disguised themselves as protesters, were armed with also weapons. They not only blocked the national highway, disrupting the entire vehicular movement, even in that case for emergency vehicles as well. And they also attacked the security forces, in which retaliation the security forces had to fire tear gas cells.
Yes.
And in this commotion, at least more than 40 people have been injured, which also include around 27 police personnel.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Aniruddha, for joining us with those details from Manipur. We will quickly shift our focus to now what's happening in Syria. Just months after the fall of the Assad regime, fresh ethnic violence and killings are threatening to consume Syria, marking its deadliest chapter of conflict after a coup that felled longtime President Bashar al-Assad. 2 days of violence claimed 1,000 lives in Syria. Now, reports say that revenge killings are happening there. Fresh spiral of violence has been reported that has forced hundreds to flee their homes. The United Nations has also condemned the fresh wave of violence in the country. Here's a report.
A fresh wave of violence and killings is sweeping Syria, marking the deadliest chapter of strife in the country since the fall of the Assad regime. Reports suggest that as many as 1,000 lives have been lost in 2 days of deadly clashes in the troubled country. Reports also say that loyalists of the deposed longtime Syrian president are driving the fresh spell of violence in the country. A minority section loyal to Assad ambushed government forces and checkpoints along the Syrian coastline on Friday, plunging the country into a fresh cycle of violence.
بعدها قمنا بقدوم بتعزيزات كبيرة جدا لضبط الأمن والأمان، والآن حصلت اشتباكات هنا في منطقة الدعتور في اللاذقية، وتمت السيطرة على جميع المناطق بفضل الله تعالى، وتم القضاء على فلول النظام الموجودة في هذه المنطقة.